river, dirty, rich soil, strong and fertile. Then shallow sheepness as we know it. Then hollow she sky for the sacred. Stars in my eyes, stars in my face, womb in the belly, capital place. Stars in my eyes, stars in my face, womb in the belly, capital place. Then shallow sheepness as we know it. Then hallow sheep sky for the sacred. Stars in my eyes, stars in my face, womb in the belly, capital place. Stars in my eyes, stars in my face, womb in the belly, capital place. Stars in my eyes. Stars in my eyes. Stars in my face. Stars in my eyes. Winged water, feathered river, dirty rich soil, strong and fertile. Then shallow sheepness as we know it. Then hallow sheep sky for the sacred. Stars in my eyes, stars in my face, womb in the belly, capital place. Stars in my eyes, stars in my face, womb in the belly, capital place. Stars in my eyes. Stars in my face. Welcome to another despicable episode of the Apocalypse, a short one. I felt I would reiterate what I said earlier for Verizon blows, and I lost signal, and before I start, let me apologize to my audience. I meant to deliver you a news feed, and I didn't think that was that big of a deal. So in a further effort to censor me, because even when they give me my channel back, they must take it some other way. I can only post 3 times and then they cut me off. If I try and put a link so you may see the video I am talking about in the post, be it on any other website but YouTube, I'm not allowed to do that either. So only 3 posts, that's not very fun. Can't put any links so you can never watch the video regarding what I'm posting. That leaves this. I assume in a moment this will be taken away as well. For it is an advanced feature, right? There never used to be such a thing. Until they wanted to censor people like me. And I am sure my name or the thought of me was involved in several discussions in social media rules. For Google and YouTube especially, I can tell by how it is tailored. Anyway, I apologize to my audience. I can no longer supply you a newsfeed on this channel. Anyway, I'm sure on my other channel with 500 subscribers I could post all day. Well, the point is to censor this one. After I've already lost 2, with hundreds of videos, hours of work. But that was the point. I did not mean for this to take so long, this opening here. Forgive me. I'm tired. At the moment, my apologies yet again. I did want to provide that for you, free of charge. Of course. As always. But at the moment, Google and YouTube are collecting data, IDs, and biometrics. And they know I, specifically, have been talking about the headline where they sold or gave all of our information to the Reich. You know, the headline that was in all the papers. Google specifically mentioned. YouTube mentioned. That they just gave my data away because the Reich demanded a list of dissidents in their eyes. So they know I talk about that headline, they know of that headline, and I guarantee my information was given over. I'm just waiting for the class action. Maybe I'll begin it myself, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. It's a slam dunk. My God. So they are collecting IDs, biometrics, the same as Discord is attempting to do at the moment. Why? Because they can sell it to the Reich or Peter Thiel or whatever company wants it. That's why. And I am not turning over any further biometrics, IDs, or anything to Google ever again. And they know that. That's why they made it mandatory now. This has never happened before. All the channel shutdowns, all the temporary shutdowns on this channel, never before was there a verification process for me. It may have happened to you a million times. You are not me. I earned a thing called advanced features 10 bloody years ago. And then I did it twice more on 2 more channels, one of them being this one. That's how good I am. Even when every website shuts me down, and this one shuts me down 3-4 times. And I'm not counting the temporary shutdowns. That number would be much higher. Still, I managed to do this with intentional lower tiering, lower exposure, being put in a corner bubble, barely circulated or not circulated at all. And I still managed to do it 3 bloody times. That is how good I am. With nothing, no budget, nothing. So one more time, I apologize. I cannot post. I cannot provide you the news feed here. I can do it somewhere else. I probably will begin doing that. I know no one will care or see it. It's just something that needs to be done. I know people don't move like that. I've tried. So I'll probably do it at the other location. And again, I'm sorry, at the moment, Google and YouTube are collecting biometrics, and that's after they sold our information or gave it to the Reich, simply for the asking. For their list of people that negatively critique the Reich. That's why my information was given over. And I cannot give them any more. I'll just talk regular now. I can't give them any more information on me. They already got a copy of my ID. Jeff Zuckerberg has a copy. Mr. Sandor has a copy. His people, not him specifically. The U.S. government has a copy, and they've had it for years. The CIA has a copy. The FBI has a copy. So please spare me the verification bullshit. It really insults my intelligence. I know it's just another effort to censor me. It's so pathetic. And remember, later on, in the future, others will have the censorship button. When it matters, son. One more time. I didn't plan on saying none of this. Google is collecting, YouTube is collecting biometrics. IDs and data. That's why the verification all of a sudden that they've never done to me before. Because I'm not a new user. Obviously, they've made special rules for me. They always have, son. They always have. One day I may get to make the rules. And I'll be as kind as you were. Now, what I said earlier, and since Verizon sucks cherry cack, and I mean that's goddamn sincerely, you cunts. Fucking get a new CEO all of a sudden, global outages or countrywide outages, fucking I don't get a signal goddamn nowhere, I'm paying you cunts all this money. Fuck you. Cheap. And I guarantee, I would bet my life, I'd bet a million other lives, son. It's some money saving bullshit. You don't want to pay some licensing for this tower something. Some cheap ass CEO so we can get an extra fucking $50,000 a year or something. Fuck you, cunts. So my shit was all garbled and fucked up because everywhere I go now, even though I pay a ridiculous amount of money for this piece of shit fucking phone, piece of shit fucking network, piece of shit company that used to at least give you a reliable product, and I mean their network, for the fucking grand larceny they charge me every fucking month. Cunts. Can I at least get a signal? That's all I'm asking for my $1,500 fucking phone. I wasn't planning on saying this either. You fucking cheap money grubbing cunts that charge ridiculous amounts. You've been charging it since the 90s when I had you back then. And now you've decided, oh, let's be real cheap. Let's just fuck up our whole network. We'll have complete outages that cost me $200 goddamn dollars in work. Cunts. And oh, what did I get? I get a fucking email like a month later, a week later. you can save $20 on your next bill if you can just figure out how to log in into our shitty website that never works. Do you know how many humans I've heard say I can't get into my Verizon account? You fucking cunts. I've heard it many a time, many a day, and every time I try, son, forget about it. Yeah, the internet made our fucking lives all easier, right? So some new CEO comes on board or whatever the fuck they did. Now it's money saving time yet again, because fuck the product, fuck the quality, fuck the tool. Why does every company do this? You have a reliable, good product. You may be charging grand larceny for it, but you have a reliable product that actually fucking works. And some money-grubbing cunt comes in, wants to be the big man who cuts the budget and staff lower than everybody, right? That's corporate excellence these days, right? That's why it's all over, son. One of the major reasons. You people got too goddamn greedy. Once again, another company that sold a reliable product. They fucking ruin it for cheap fucking greediness. I guarantee it's to save money somewhere. Get fucking Ben Affleck to audit that shit like the fucking... What the fuck did he have? The autistic accountant in the movie he played. You cunts. And I know we'd find it. Greedy, cheap fuck CEO wanted another yacht. So he stopped paying some licensing fee and he went to the fucking board. Look how much money I saved you guys. I know your entire network doesn't work anymore. Your phones lose signal everywhere you go. Your T-Mobile 15 years ago. But hey, I got the budget down, man. I even laid off some people. These are the successful people I've watched my whole life. As if they saving the world when all they doing is laying off and ruining the business. Every single one, son. Everyone I've ever seen. So, I'm sorry. Here I am 20 minutes in. I didn't say none of the shit I planned on saying. I'm sorry. I'm actually just venting for myself. So I don't know why I'm apologizing. The audio, the thing was all garbled mess, the last live stream. And I pay, again, a ridiculous amount of money per month to this cunt company that operates this network this phone works on, called Verizon. My shit should be lightning fast for what I pay. Son, you cunts. I should be able to upload a video in 5 fucking minutes, even if it's an hour, for what I pay. And this phone, son, it ain't the cheapest model. It's almost the most expensive model. You hear me? I'm paying a pretty penny per month, paying this piece of shit off. That might as well be a goddamn brick if it can't get a signal, right, son? Right. I don't know what to tell you, Verizon. Enjoy the cancellations, because, man, you're really making it happen. You got me looking at T-Mobile, like, seriously, for the first time in my life. Can you believe it, son? That's how shitty you've become. They even got a great plan. I'll give you $800 or $900 for, like, a modern phone like I have. They'll pay off the rest that I owe. Isn't that awesome? I think I might check that deal out. You fucking cunts. Now you're ruining my this live stream because I'm talking about your fucking cheap asses. Your worthless fucking asses. You realize this is money to people, right, cunts? I know Google and YouTube don't give a fuck. The point's to ruin my money. They've done quite a great job of it. Which I should have sued their ass just for that. Let alone defamation, son. And again, I ain't you people. I ain't talking about a video of me made by someone else. I'm talking about the company defaming me straight up in front of you people. You want to put phrases up with allegations in them for policy and take people's shit down? All right, that's defamation if it's a lie, son. Cunts. That's why you got to do all this sideways censorship bullshit. You're worried I'm going to sue you and get fucking like $2 billion off your ass. Maybe go to jail for RICO too, you fucking cunts working with the mob. Oh wow, I didn't get shut down yet? Don't worry, it'll happen. Once they hear this. I didn't plan on saying none of this. I have epiphanies, people. I go on tangents. It's fascinating, isn't it? What would you call it when Facebook, Google, and YouTube and the mob work together, conspire together to fuck my money and rep up and defame me with talking points, with videos with the same exact theme? Did you notice like 3 people did videos about me and the theme was total talking point PR? I didn't realize it at the time. There was so much going on, man. A million things coming at me. 3 different people, random fucking freaks, man. I don't know where they found these fuckers, what sewer, but they found them. And leave it to the mob, leave it to the gypsies to find them. It all had the theme of who. One of them even posted an owl on the video. And they really didn't do that many more videos. They really weren't about it once I was gone. Did you notice that? I noticed years later when I took a look at it, when I was building my lawsuit, gathering all the fucking defamation and harassment and stalking and just all of it. And I noticed, I'm like, 3 different people, total freak weirdos. I don't know where they found these fucking freaks. Did straight up similar videos with the theme of who, because of some statement I said. I was pissed off, because I had about 97 turncoats in my comment section and dealing with me every day, pretending to be about this, be my friend, all that. And that's not why they were here. They were here for the mob. And I know that now too. I didn't know it at the time. I just thought it was typical human nature for a lot of them, but it wasn't. It was much more than that. It was a mob family with their compatriots fucking with us because they thought I was a meth head right-wing hack. And that's the last thing I've ever been. So those mobsters sent 2 men to try and kill me, literally. And I know that to the core of me. I don't need attention that bad that I need to say that, son. I know some of you do. I do not. I don't need this attention in my fucking life. But it's something I gotta do. Because it's the world, man. The whole world this time. But I'll get to that. So they send people to kill me. They make a false report to the FBI and send the FBI or fake FBI to my ex-girlfriend's house. Harass her for several days, be they FBI or not. On the phone. Google and Facebook all took part in this, all conspired with the talking points, with the shutdowns, with the censorship. I guarantee there's communications between the mob, their agents, and these companies. I guarantee if we traced IPs, we traced some of those accounts right back to the mob. I'm talking about the literal mobsters themselves, that family themselves. I know that to the core of me. They thought I was stupid, son. And they thought I wasn't watching it all. I was watching everything and everyone. So what would you call that? Would you call that a RICO case, son? I'm asking you, son. Because it sounds like one to me. Complete with attempted murder and everything. Complete with a false report to the FBI. Or 2 fake FBI agents. Complete with talking points furnished by the mob or Google themselves as well. I don't know who sent those bots, the mob or Google. Could have been both. Could have been one or the other. But one of those parties did it. So I don't know. Does that sound like a RICO case? What's the charge for calling the FBI on someone that's never committed a crime? What's the charge, or what's the amount I could get from the U.S. government if they were real FBI agents for harassment? What kind of judgment could I get? Or if I want to file criminal charges? A RICO type thing. I wonder who would go to prison for that. Because I know your communications are out there. Son. All of you. Facebook, Google, YouTube, the mob. I know you thought I was stupid. That's what I wanted you to think, son. So does that sound like a RICO case? It sure sounds like one to me. And hey, let's throw this current thing that you gave them my info. You gave the Reich my info simply for the asking. An illegal request and an illegal compliance. I wonder how much I get for that. Just curious. Again, I wasn't planning on saying any of that. Now, to what I said earlier, before this gets taken down, Donnie's speech today. First, what'd they do? They brought Hegseth out first, if I remember correctly, because all I did was listen to fucking Satellite and look at clips all day. I wish I could have showed you guys the clips, but, you know, again, Google's collecting biometrics and data and IDs. So they can sell them. That's what we are. We're commodities. And me personally, I'm just a guy they really want to shut down, and they've just been kind of tepid to do it because they're worried I'm going to sue the living fuck out of them, and I should, honestly. I should file criminal charges as well against several parties. What's the statute of limitations on RICO? On mob activity? I wonder. Maybe there isn't one. I have a feeling there isn't. Just a feeling. So Donnie, after Hegseth came out and said a few missiles will squirt through sometimes, and 6 people have died, 6 U.S. soldiers. We don't talk about the hundreds and hundreds of Iranians that have died. And they continued to carpet bomb fucking Tehran today, I think. So that figure's probably pretty high. None of this will make us any safer. It will just make World War III. And it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon from what I'm seeing. So Hegseth, a few missiles will squirt through today. He came out first, I believe. And what else did he say? Oh, he used the word war. So much for it not being a war, because then, you know, we had to hear the comment the rest of the day from various, this isn't a war, it's an operation. No, it's a war. Donnie used the word war. Hegseth used the word war. You got to pick which lie you're going to run with. Either it's a war or an operation. Calling it an operation, there's legalities. You don't have to go to Congress. Ever since George Bush Jr. was a thing, when we all lost all of our rights, and I mean all of them. Did you know right now the Supreme Court is hearing a case about whether they're going to take guns away from people that smoke marijuana? Did you know that? Because in their minds, only liberals smoke marijuana, and that's the real target. They want to take guns away from a specific part of the population. It's a very tricky exercise, and they're thinking of different ways to do it. I assume Supreme Court will give them their wish because they think only liberals smoke weed, and that's not remotely true. I knew plenty of rednecks that smoked a face off. So, that's not really going to work well. But it's an excuse authority can use to take your gun away if they look at you as a dissident. Pot smoker, liberal, dissident. That's when they'll use it. They won't use it blanketly. But that's what's being ruled on in the Supreme Court right now. And Donnie already told you we can just go in and take the guns. When he was sitting next to Pam, the 5150 proclamation. Because it takes too long to go to the courts. So they can just 5150 you. They, not your wife, not your friend, not your coworker. They can 5150 you if they want to. And that's very easy. Come in your house, take your guns, and you never see them again. Anyone they want. They've already taken your guns, son. You just don't know it yet. So Hegseth talked about how, we're not going to be dumb about it. We're not going to stay too long like other people did. He only mentioned Biden and Obama fucking the war things up, staying too long. He didn't mention that it all started under Bushy, Cheney, and Senior. Because that would hurt the grift machine, right, guys? Right. I don't know why they bother lying anymore. They don't need to. They're never giving power back. They don't need any voters anymore. They don't need any of it. I don't know why they even lie. Just go full Reich now. Get it over with. Because that's where it's going and no one's going to stop it. So again, Pete talked about missiles squirting through and killing people. That's, like a college frat boy would. He talked about how he and Dottie know better than the rest of us out here that say this could escalate into something huge. And what have I been saying every day for a few years now? You knew better. To all the people that are either indifferent to this or preach Donnie, you knew better. All the people that thought they had him on a leash, the Saudis, Vlad, Bibi, you knew better. The oligarchs, the tech bros, you knew better. So I cringed like a motherfucker when I heard the Fox News host in full makeup with a compact in his goddamn pocket. Which is funny because he's anti-woke this, anti-gay this, yet he the one, carrying makeup. I don't know, son. I don't know. When I heard him say he and Trump know better, I cringed like him. I was like, oh no. That's the exact point I make about you people that handed it all over. The ones that are still alive, the ones that Donnie didn't bankrupt yet. I'm talking to you. Donnie, the pedophile rapist with a 6th grade education and a diaper full of shit, who's got Hitler dreams he's had all his life. And Pete, the drunk rapist Hegseth. They know better. The Fox News host, the reality TV star, money launderer all his life, pedophile, best friend of Jeff Epstein, who goes into hiding after every abomination. When he said he and Trump know better, fucking doom, son. I keep saying we're doomed. In that moment, once again, and there's been many, I was like, we're fucking doomed. Because, son, that's the exact fucking mentality I am talking about every single night that got us here. I know better. I know better than all those people saying Donnie's a pedophile. That he never sues for, by the way. I know better than all those people that say maybe bombing countries indiscriminately left and right isn't a good idea, and annexing their oil, that may cause problems for us. There may be retribution. Plus, it's wrong. There's no justification other than Donnie wants to be Adolf Hitler. And son, that's not the slightest exaggeration. That's why Venezuela had to lose its oil and a few hundred people had to die. That's why hundreds are dead or thousands are dead in Iran. I don't know how many. 10 are dead in Israel, 6 dead American soldiers. Because Donnie shitbags wants to be Adolf Hitler, and he's wanted to be that his whole life. Son, I know you don't know this. I've watched the clips many times of him in the fucking mid-80s talking about being president. On shows. Donnie been dreaming about this grift, about being Adolf, his whole fucking life. And now he's doing it. On top of it, I'm sorry to break it to you, he's the Antichrist. And again, son, I'm not the rest of the people out there that you watch. I don't say shit like that. Unless it's true. And I ain't here for fun. I should be sleeping again. So because Donnie wants to be Adolf Hitler and because he's the Antichrist, that's why these countries are annexed. He took the Holy Land first, son, that's one. He took Venezuela second. Took the Middle East, actually. Donnie frames it as, I want Middle East peace. The whole region. So in Donnie's mind, he runs that region, and honestly, he does. Who's going to go against him? No one. Then he took Venezuela, their largest oil reserves on the planet. Now he's taken Iran. And it won't stop there, son. If that ain't Adolf Hitler, I don't know what is. Never mind the concentration camps and the mass Gestapo. Never mind the Nazi salute to start this all off on Inauguration Day by Leon, who was co-chancellor for a minute, you remember? So that's why it's happening. Epstein may have altered the timeline, but this was planned before. They were talking about doing all this crazy shit before the election. I don't know if you remember. And he wanted Greenland in the first term. Hitler was fascinated by an explorer that explored Greenland. Of course he was. So when Pete said me and Donnie know better, oh my God, all I heard was doom and death. Just like I told you would be coming last January and before, death. One more time. A drunk Fox News host in full makeup at all times, who's basically been a party boy his whole life, rich kid. And that's obvious. And Donnie the rapist pedophile has been a money launderer and a reality TV star. Those are his credentials. And a mobster. And a pedophile. They know better than us out here. Just like you rubes knew better. When we hit Armageddon, when there's fallout, maybe you'll understand then who knew better. Of course, then it'll be too late. It already is. Yeah, that really struck me. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I say that every night, that people knew better, and that's why we're here. And when the consequences come, you knew better. And he said it out loud. After they started a war that escalated out of their control the second they fucking started it. Like 12 different fucking countries got hit. Planes going down in Kuwait that cost 500 million apiece. Not even by the enemy. I don't know what's worse, the enemy shooting them down or Kuwait shoot. I don't even know what's worse. I know what makes the U.S. military look more incompetent. Getting shot down by Kuwait makes them look more incompetent, in my opinion, than getting shot down by the enemy that actually has anti-aircraft defenses. Oil fields have been hit. Hotels have been hit where American servicemen are staying. Israel's been... Tonight, Saudis got hit again by a couple Iranian drones. So this ain't over, son. That's why the thumbnail says infinite drones. I don't even want to think about how many drones Iran has, let alone missiles. This could last a while. And then there's the individual terrorist acts. Donnie also said before his speech, it was either yesterday or the day before, that they didn't just kill the first and second and third in command. They killed the top like 49 people that would even be contenders for leading the country. I'm thinking that may have some retaliatory repercussions. That may have made certain entities very pissed off. Entities that have henchmen with guns and assassins and all kinds of great fucking stuff. I just found out today via Rachel Maddow. I don't usually listen to her. Not that there's anything wrong with her. And she did this whole report on, and I wasn't really interested at the time, but it is rather relevant. And it shows Donnie's character. But she got it a tiny bit wrong. She doesn't fully understand Donnie like I do. The Iranians put a hit out on John Bolton back in the first term. And some other high-level people in our government. So Mr. Bolton and several others were given extra security detail because of these legitimate, credible assassination plans. And from what I hear, Iran has a decent network that can handle things like this. So they took it seriously. And they gave him and a few others, I can't remember the names, I'm sorry, extra security. At some point, several years ago, I don't remember when it took place, Miss Maddow explains it. Remember, Donnie took those security details away from Mr. Bolton and others. Remember that? Now you know why. There were death threats against those specific people. He's taken security away from other people as well, but this group, Bolton and a few others, I can't remember the names, he took all their security away. That's a sociopath. That's an evil scumbag motherfucker. And you know what he was thinking? Donnie was perfectly aware of those death threats and why those security details were assigned to those people and Mr. Bolton. And that's why he took them away. He wanted them to live with the fear of knowing there was a legitimate assassination contract out on them. He was hoping they get killed. I am not kidding. That's when I all of a sudden became interested. I was like, oh yeah, I remember him taking a security detail away from Bolton and several other people. Yeah. Now I know why. That's the level of evil scumbag we're talking about here. You don't even know what this person's capable of. And that taking the security detail, that's the least of his crimes, my God. This was someone who was in his administration, son. That's what you fucking with when you fuck with Donnie. Work for him, associate with him, get in business with him, anything. Everything Donnie touches dies. One of the truest statements ever spoken, whoever made that up. Brilliant observation, because man, he got the Midas touch in reverse, doesn't he? Everything shrivels and fucking dies that he puts his finger on. What's he got his finger on now, son? America. So we know what's going to happen to that, right? How did I get into John Bolton and all that? Let me just go to Donnie's speech. Because that's what I was talking about in the prior live stream. It was a ceremony for former fallen veterans, famous veterans that we've heard the stories before, that did heroic deeds. They framed it as a ceremony. And Donnie gave a quick update about the war and how many deaths there were because he didn't want to answer no questions and he didn't want to get into it too long because Donnie knows he shit his pants and we all caught him. So he's doing the little child, I'll just ignore it and it'll go away thing. And we just let him do it again. Such a shame. Such a shame a few Republicans in Congress and the Senate just can't say, you know what, it's time to impeach. Now, what he would do if you did seriously attempt to impeach him, and it might succeed, he would stage another coup in that he would get some of his loyalist military. You know, the white supremacists like him. The people from Central Casting, he calls them. He would get them to take out Congress and those people, probably just arrest them, throw them in the gulag, and he'd just stay in power. That's what would happen if you seriously, there was a serious threat of impeachment, like it might actually happen. You know, like 100 Republican congressmen, and I don't know how many senators it would take, 30, 20, 10 to get to 60. Because I think that's what you need, or 2/3 of the Senate. I can't remember to convict. It's not important because it'll never happen. But if it was seriously about to happen, Donnie would definitely come grab all those people and they'd be in the gulag. He's not leaving. No matter what we try, they try, whatever anyone tries. They've thought of it all and they planned on not leaving before they won. If you gave them the keys, and either they cheated and got the keys or you gave them the keys. I don't know what the truth is. Knowing Donnie and Leon pointing a finger saying everyone else is cheating, I know they're projection artists. You read between the lines, it sounds like they cheated. Because that's their MO, accuse everyone else of what they are. Leon used to like calling people pedophiles, remember that? That's before he found out he's one. For sure. Isn't it interesting? I think it is. I saw some new information on Zuckerberg, too, that he wanted Jeff's contact info after the dinner. I bet you did, Zuck. You pedo. You thought I didn't know, son? I don't need to ask for your ID, Zuck. I don't need your biometrics. I don't need your fingerprint. I saw the Epstein files, son. I got to see right behind the curtain on your bitch ass. Another cunt who threw me off his website. Mr. Pedophile Zuckerberg. These people dare take moral or attempt to take moral stands against people like me and other people. What a fucking joke. You ain't gonna find a picture of me sitting next to Epstein, son. With my wife, for fuck's sake. And that don't mean shit to me, you motherfuckers. Again, rich men are experts at ditching their wives, and some of their wives are into it. Ghislaine was into it. But rich men are literal experts at ditching their wives. So I don't care if you go with the family or sitting at the table with Jeff eating dinner with your wife. That don't mean shit to me. I know what you really doing, son. And I know why you wanted that contact info. I know why Leon was begging to go to the island. Repeatedly. These are the people that tell us what we can and can't say. The adjudicated criminal Google tells me what I can and can't say. Fascinating, isn't it? I'm not even a criminal like them. Interesting, huh? So Donnie hid behind, in his speech after Hegseth, hid behind fallen soldiers of the past and heroic soldiers, read a speech prepared for him. He read it as a fifth grader was reading a book report in front of the class, and you know how that goes. Then the prepared statement, which they used again for the woman who did the announcements for each medal, she read the same exact statement that Donnie read about each person individually. Word for word. The second his prepared statement was over, which is a couple minutes, maybe 5, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, right into the ballroom. Why did Donnie do that? One, he's consumed with the ballroom. Two, I notice again when we catch him with poop in his pants, because he did this with the press the other day, he likes to change the subject like a small child, like my cat used to do when the cat did something wrong and she knew it was wrong. She'd try and lead me somewhere else. Just like your child might try and do. Donnie brought up some statues the other day with the press when he answered 3, 4 questions right after he bombed the country. Because he wanted to change the subject. He wanted to distract you like a child. It's so transparent, though. It's pathetic to watch. So the second he was done his remarks, he points to the curtain near him, because behind that curtain's the big hole that leads to the ballroom and all the construction. And he starts talking about that for 2 or 3 minutes. I'm talking immediately after the prepared remarks that he read, again, like a 5th grade book report. And in that statement, it even said, I've always loved gold. Yeah, we know, Donnie. We know. Again, faking a ceremony for fallen soldiers of the past and present, handing out a few medals, all to distract from World War III he started. And the second his book report was over, I listened to the whole thing, son, as it was happening. Right to the ballroom. I know the Rubes don't understand this. I know Donnie doesn't. I know Donnie was looking for a distraction like a child in that moment because he's very nervous about what's going on right now. He's scared. And it was obvious. From him being in hiding and not taking any questions, it's obvious. He knows he fucked up. And that's a nervous thing he does, like a small child. A transparent attempt to change the subject when you bring up a very uncomfortable topic. Like, hey, Adolf Hitler, why'd you just bomb that country in the dark of night again? We got one explanation from Hegseth. We got a whole nother explanation from Donnie. Then later on, we got a whole nother explanation by Rubio, because Rubio had to give a speech. Because after each speech, they're looking at polling to see if it did anything. And it just makes it worse. So they look at what happened with Pete. Oh, shit. Pete's shit didn't work that well. All right, send Donnie out. Just, all right, I'll talk about the war for a minute. All right, that didn't do shit. That made it 80 times worse. All right, send Lil Marco out. He'll fix it. Marco sounded like an angry teenager by the time it was his turn to speak hours after Donnie. I was so annoyed I stopped listening to it. Little Marco's explanation later in the day was, well, we knew Israel was about to attack Iran, and we knew Iran would hit our bases in the Middle East if Israel attacked Iran, so we had to preemptively attack Iran in self-defense. That's a lot of mental gymnastics right there. That's thought crime. Minority Report shit. Several people put a great analogy to it. And they talk about, my friend lives across the street, and he said he's going to come over and punch my next door neighbor, in the face. Now, I know when he punches my next door neighbor in the face, my next door neighbor is going to come burn my house down. So I went over to my neighbor's house and I preemptively burnt his house down in self-defense. That's the argument. That's not a legitimate argument. Why are they making that argument? Because they need a case for imminence. Because if they don't have a case for imminence, that's when the president has the right to do these military type operations. Imminence. Imminent threat. So they've been thinking of whatever the fuck they can think of to paint this as imminent. They even made up lies all day. I heard on mainstream news channels. Some got a little pushback, but not much. Iran's killed hundreds of thousands of our soldiers, of people. They've attacked us hundreds of times over the year. No, they haven't. When was this? I don't remember any of this. I remember there was attacks like, I don't know, back in the 70s, or kidnappings or something. The fuck are these people just make shit up. No, Iran was not an imminent threat to us whatsoever. They're right next to Israel. They're not shooting missiles every day, even after Israel bombed them. So they weren't an imminent threat there either. And I personally think they have a nuclear weapon. They just can't use it, because all the fallout would come right back on them. Because I think that's why the U.S. military hasn't invaded or tried to take them on all these decades, even though they've wanted to since the 70s, late 60s. It's all you hear from Republican administrations since the 60s and 70s. Iran. Eventually it became Iraq when the CIA needed, to make an enemy. Make someone the enemy of the world, which they do with all their assets. Not that he was a good guy, but he was an ally against Iran for a while, who America gave weapons to. And then America came back years later and said, you have weapons of mass destruction that we gave you. Time to invade. Daddy said it's time to invade. Watch this shot. That's George Bush Jr. A CIA asset, Saddam Hussein, for a while, in America's fight against Iran back in the day, giving weapons, chemical, all kinds of great stuff. Years later, that same CIA, that same America comes back at him with, you have weapons of mass destruction. Evil shit, man. Evil shit. And I was a young idiot at the time. I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. I didn't realize the repercussions of any of it. Except that they got us in the Middle East. And I knew that would lead to the end. And here we are. What, 20 years later, after 2001? 20-some years later? I knew it would lead to this. Even when I was a young, stupid man, I just knew a little bit about prophecy and scripture. And I was, quite a novice. And I just knew something in me just, when I saw them towers burning again, they got us in the fucking Middle East somehow. Those motherfuckers. And I'm talking about the right-wing grift machine and Dick Cheney and Bush Sr. and Bush Jr. That's who I meant as they. Because I knew when I saw those buildings how mad the public would be, and they'd be all for it. And we all were. I was too. I was mad too. And it worked like a charm. If that's what took place. What I think took place. And yeah, I think they were capable of it. Cheney Sr., others. But that doesn't mean I'm right. But when 2 towers get hit and 3 towers fall, which is one of the most obvious tells of this whole situation, one must ask questions, right? Because that's not logical. Anyway, when I saw them towers burning, I said, oh no, they got us in the Middle East. And I knew all the end times bullshit centered around the Middle East. And I knew what a quagmire the Middle East is. Even as a young man. Very young. "24, 25 years later, here we all are. And it led to exactly what I thought it would. And the catalyst for everything that's happening right now. Why bring it up all the time? George Bush Jr. Your rights were taken away utterly. It's this simple. This is the law that was passed. Are you ready? If they attach the word terrorist to you, an American citizen, a liberal, a MAGA, a Republican, an independent, an illegal alien, someone on a tourist visa, someone with a green card, someone seeking asylum, if you're Iranian, if you're Iraqi, if you're from Kuwait, if you're from Yemen, wherever anyone on the planet, if America attaches the word terrorist to you, including American citizens, that's where it's all going right now. Donnie picked up the football. It's the exact football he was waiting for, too. to make all his Hitler dreams come true. Which is exactly why the former Reich, the George Bush Jr. Reich, that took all our goddamn rights away. That's why they did it. Because the right-wing grift machine, the right-wing movement is a fascist movement. Always has been. They hate democracy. They never liked it. They needed a way around the courts, rights, all that bullshit. Bingo! Towers burden. Let's make a law that says if we call you a terrorist, we can take you to Guantanamo. None of your rights matter. Due process goes away. Waterboarding, God knows what else. Abu Ghraib and shit. We saw the pictures. We know what was going on. George Bush Jr., remember, understand how your world changed and why what is happening with this Reich is happening and is able to happen. George Bush Jr. and that right-wing grift machine at the time needed a way around the Constitution, around due process, around the law, around your rights. Terrorist. Anyone we put the label terrorist on loses all their rights. Do it quick while those towers are burning. Because everyone will go along, and boy did we, didn't we? Every American citizen, everyone around the world, lost any rights guaranteed to them in the Constitution. Lost all due process. You could just get kidnapped in the night and taken away. That was in 2001, son. Donnie saw that football. Every move that's been made in bad faith. The word terrorist attached, narco-terrorist, terrorists in Iran. That posed no threat to us. Antifa has been designated a terror group. A group that doesn't exist. Do you see where this is going now, son? I knew it in 2001 that we all just lost our rights. And I knew Donnie would use that. He used it in the first term. That's the right-wing grift machine came up with a way to get around due process and all of our rights. You understand that, I hope. Because they're using it every day now. And they even got a nice little title to go along with the terror moniker for you, the American citizen. If they don't like you at the moment, it's called Antifa. And it doesn't exist. And they knew that. Because it's for you. So a way to call any American a terrorist now is they label them Antifa. They labeled that group a terror group, a group that does not literally exist. So that's for all of you that become dissidents over time. Anyone abroad, any foreigner, they want to call a terrorist, all rights go away, any due process, they can just come grab you, take you God knows where. Donnie saw that football. He's conducting entire wars using that word, terrorism. Terrorist. The Iranians are terrorists. Those people in those boats are terrorists. Those dissidents, they must be Antifa. They're terrorists, even though they're American citizens. You understand where it's going. You understand why they have all this freedom and latitude to... Sorry, my suction cup thing lost its grip. Freedom and latitude to conduct bombing after bombing, war after war, indiscriminately kill people in the Caribbean, kill 80 people, take over Venezuela, steal their oil. You can thank George Bush Jr. for that. That football that Donnie has it right tucked under his decrepit arm. every single day that they use for everything. Everything is based on 2001. Everything they do today, they would not have the ability legally to do without the George Bush Jr. administration. That was the key to fascism, to Reich. That's what Bushy Jr., whoever was leading him around by the nose, Cheney and Sr., that's what they were doing then. Donnie found another loophole based on that same terrorist loophole. We'll just 5150 anyone we want to take guns from. And we don't have to go to court. We just go in and take the guns. Donnie said that out loud. That's based on that same philosophy, the terrorism philosophy. If you just label it terrorism, all rights, due process go away. Magically. Because we're fascists. Only fascists would ask for that. Do you understand that, son? Proving my goddamn point. By even asking. So always understand that moment when the George Bush Reich made it law that if we label you a terrorist, we can do anything. All your rights go away. Donnie's run with that football every second of every day. 7, 8, 10 bombings now in different countries. Annexation of one. The assassination of 50 leading figures in Iran. The taking of the Holy Land, Gaza being ash. Donnie sits atop the Board of Peace, runs the Middle East, runs the Holy Land. They've been showing you they're going to take your guns and how they're going to do it and get around the courts where you have no rights. They're showing you, and they showed you back in the George Bush days, how they get around the Constitution and your due process. You get a bunch of crooked fucks like we have in now that will just exploit the fuck out of these loopholes and literally designate a group that doesn't exist terrorists. That's for you, son, again. They'd call anyone Antifa now. Now you're a terrorist. All your rights go away. Thank George Bush Jr. And thank the Antichrist for carrying that football every day and using it like it's his favorite toy in the world. I'm going to take a break for a moment. I should not be on this long. I got an important day tomorrow, boy. All right, so where was I? Donnie, in his speech today. Why is it doing that? Oh, that's why it's doing that. Donnie, in his speech today, and the reason I'm taking so much time on it because I was so struck by it. Um, Again, hiding behind fallen soldiers, acting like it was some big ceremony, even though he had just started World War III and it was escalating out of control. Because he didn't want to take questions as a distraction, as a way to soften us all up. He's a child. I mean, these approaches are so fucking childish. Um, right to talking about the ballroom after his prepared remarks, he sounded like shit. He looked like shit. Uh, he was laboring with every sentence. Like you could tell he was struggling to even get the sentences out. He's not in good health, man. They found some new rash on his fucking neck over here. It's like sticking up above the collar. Looks fucking hideous. Laboring like a motherfucker to read that book report. It was sad to watch, actually. Right to talking about the ballroom and how he loves gold. Right to talking about how, we're giving out medals. I wanted one of these, but, my staff said no. And I keep asking and they keep saying I can't do it. The optics will look bad. And, I'm only joking because the press will say I really wanted it. Class, he really wants the medal, right? Right. He wanted to be Pope, too. That wasn't a joke either. It never is. He wants every title. He wants all glory. He wants everything. He's an empty void of fucking nothing that can never be filled. Yes, he wants the Purple Heart and all the medals, even though his bitch ass went to his daddy, and he dares say this stuff, went to his daddy to get him a doctor's note 5 fucking times to get out the draft. And he wants the same medal that men and women get that go through boot camp, go to war, do something heroic or whatever, or die on the battlefield. He wants that same honor for himself. Do you know what a disgusting individual that is that would dare want that honor when they didn't earn it? In fact, they went out of their way not to serve when their country called. At the very least, if you're going to go out of your way not to serve, don't stand up there and say, I'd like a Purple Heart. Can I get one? At least don't do that, man. Maybe not bring it up unless you're giving the award to someone else. It's incredible. Like, bombing a country every other week, annexing countries, and then between each bombing, having your hand out for the Nobel and making the woman who got the Nobel come here, hand it to you, pretend like she ever wanted to give it to you. I mean, the level of mental illness is off the fucking charts. How he appealed to any human being, I'll never understand. Anyone he appealed to, son, you're just on the wrong side of it. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter if you agree. It only matters what the man thinks. And he's the Antichrist, so I know what the man thinks of him and you, son. Oh my God. The Antichrist is a special exemption. And what I mean by that is he's so abominable and horrible. One, he was prophesied for thousands of years. Two, everyone that follows him will take a mark as well and be automatically dead in God's eyes, as if they were never born. That's where you people are going. And again, it doesn't matter if you agree or care or like me or don't or meaningless. And there's only 3 ways to guarantee not make it. You don't accept Jesus Christ, and I ain't judging you, son. If the man sent that son of his to die for us and all that really happened, you might want to be grateful. I don't know. It's up to you. Don't matter to me. If it's all bullshit, then we'll know it's bullshit when we die. But I don't know. What I'm seeing, man, looks quite supernatural. Makes no logical sense whatsoever. And that story coming true by the second. And again, I'm looking for ways for the story to not come true. I'm looking for that. Even though I'm on camera talking about it. Something I know I'll never find. Not accepting Christ, blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, taking the mark, following the Antichrist. Those are the three ways you are irredeemable. That's how bad this motherfucker is. And that's from God's perspective. He wrote it down. Not mine. God calls him an animal. God says he will be taken living to the lake. God says anyone that takes the mark is no longer redeemable. God says you're following the devil if you take the mark, if you follow his Antichrist. Not me. So, son, I'm not trying to debate you here, have an argument, because that's pointless. I'm just telling you how the man looks at it. So, once again, this ain't my perspective. You might want to listen. And it doesn't matter, again, that's the real point I want to make. It doesn't matter if you agree or not, or believe it or don't believe it. It just, not my rules, man. It ain't that kind of thing. This ain't a debate. It's just what is, according to what I'm seeing. Again, I can't prove God and Jesus to you. Allegedly, Jesus will prove that at the end of this. That's what the story says. So after Donnie asked for his medal, after he used these soldiers as a shield, the famous fallen from famous military stories that some of us have heard, famous troops that have done famous heroic things throughout the wars that America has had. He used them as a shield, our current fallen soldiers as a shield, then talked about the ballroom, then said he wanted a medal like these soldiers deserve, and he does not. Then they had their ceremony where the lady read the same statement he did for each person. Gave the medals. Donnie walked out of the room. The press was yelling questions. He answered nothing, and he walked rather fast for someone who looks like he's about to die. That's after being in hiding, not taking any questions. The other day, he took a few questions from the press quickly. And he was in hiding right after the bombing. And we got an AI video the night of the bombing. That's what the fuck you're dealing with. A normal president would have gave an actual address, not AI. And the next morning, when we were all looking for answers, they would have been at the podium giving us goddamn answers. You have a child who dreams of being Adolf Hitler, yet he's too scared to even face the press when he makes the Hitler moves. That's what level coward we're dealing with. When Jake Tapper called him first thing in the morning, he's one of the first people that got a hold of Donnie in the morning. And he gave CNN some of his details, but he wanted to save the rest of it for his show later. Because, that's what's important. Right, Jake? And the books, right? Right? And saying Biden's too old, right? Right. And one of the things Donnie said on the phone, I'm hearing this first thing in the morning, we're knocking the crap out of them. Really? Because I saw Saudi officials complaining that their allies weren't protecting their oil fields. And I saw hotels get hit. And I saw Israel get hit. And I saw a whole bunch of countries get hit. I saw 6 soldiers get killed. I don't know. Knocking the crap out of them might not be the best phrase to use describing this situation. And I really do wonder, those 6 fallen soldiers, their parents, their family, their wives, their husbands, whatever. I don't know the names. I don't know if they were men or women or who they were. I wonder who the people around them, their family, their friends. I wonder who they voted for. I wonder what gospel they preach. Because again, we out here, people like me, that were warning everyone for 10 years, we cared about them more than you did. Because for the millionth time, we weren't out here trying to trick people, son. We ain't you. We ain't the right-wing grift machine. Loaded up with talking points from Vlad. I especially, I'm sure many of us out here, we knew shit just like this would happen. Donnie don't give a fuck about your children. He's on the phone first thing in the morning all gacked up. We're knocking the crap out of him. Really? No, we're not doing nothing, Donnie. You're not there on the battlefield once again. A bunch of younger, more capable people are. That don't wear diapers. And didn't dodge the draft. So, as you're worried about your children in uniform, no matter who you voted for, because anyone can die in war or accident or whatever in the military, Donnie gets to have fun moments with Jake Tapper where he's, bragging like a small child. We're knocking the crap out of him. Meanwhile, your kid's coming home in a fucking casket. That's what we're dealing with. And the reason your kids came home in a casket is because of what you voted for, if you voted for it. And because Donnie sent them. I'd be real pissed if I voted for this motherfucker who promised no new wars. And again, if we just go back to the first 6 months of his first term, he was an absolute warmonger again until Ann Coulter and Alex Jones and others who were also tired of wars at that time shamed him. Then we got the man of peace all of a sudden. $200 missiles at Syria, Armada racing towards North Korea, to get them to shoot a missile off. Maybe that'll start World War III. Mother of all bombs on Afghanistan. That's what happened in Donnie's first 6 months, first term. Exactly what I expected. I did not expect the turnaround once he got shamed. I didn't know there was going to be a pause. I didn't know Joe Biden was going to win. Now we into real shit. Won't be no pauses no more, son. I fucking wish. So again, instead of it being there the next morning after the bombing, he just was in hiding the whole day. And then when we finally do see him, he answered a couple questions real quick at night, I think, the first night. And then the next day, he did this ceremony thing and no questions. So he can't even face the press. Mr. Big Tough Hitler wannabe, who has no, qualms about sending people to murder others and mass Gestapo to murder and kidnap as well. He can't even face the press after he conducts an illegal war. Or he shows up in the Epstein files a million fucking times. He just goes into hiding every time. And from his health today, and I'm not just saying this because I don't like him. He struggled through that speech. I could tell he was laboring for every sentence. So it's not just that he's in hiding because of, oh, I shit my pants. He's also in hiding because of the medical shit. We've seen him disappear for 5 days at a time. He's got some serious medical issues going on. That hand again looked fucked up today, looked different. It was red like on the outside, the fingertips, the outside of the fingers, outside of the hand, all the way around. Fucking strange. Big fucking hideous red something on his neck. Laboring for every sentence. Donnie on his last legs. He might be a vegetable soon, but they got AI Donnie all queued up and ready, don't worry. And they'll wheel him out once in a while, don't worry. And it'll be for real this time, not like Joe Biden with the fake reports. They'll wheel him out, they drug him up. No, that's Donnie all day, every day. Not Joe Biden. That's what we get. We get a guy who stays in hiding after he bombs a country, kills hundreds of people, gets American soldiers killed, gets a bunch of Middle Eastern countries attacked, comes out, doesn't even answer questions, goes into hiding, has some bullshit ceremony about fallen soldiers, talks about his ballroom, talks about his fucking desire to get a medal like real soldiers. Fucking disgusting. Then there's the 3 different stories again. One story from Hegseth, one story from Donnie, one story from Rubio. By the end of the day, we were at, well, Israel was going to attack, and we knew that. And then we knew Iran was going to attack our bases, so we bombed them in advance in self-defense. Yeah, that's not legit. That's not an imminent threat. That's a joke. That's mental gymnastics bullshit. Because Donnie wants to be Adolf Hitler. That's where we ended up today. Who knows what the real story is? What was also released today, which I was rather surprised because they didn't release it right away, son. And I know why, after watching it. I told you in advance it probably wouldn't go well for them. The Bill and Hillary clips came out today from their big depositions they had to give. Republicans finally got the big evidence on them that they've been lying about for 30 years when they're all the pedophiles and they were all hanging with Epstein. I'm really wondering if Bill's innocent here. I watched many of the clips of Hillary and Bill, and I listened to audio on the radio today as well. They were both utterly relaxed. They didn't seem nervous at all. They didn't seem like they committed a crime at all. And here's the thing. What I told you before the hearings took place. I tried to explain to the Rubes, Bill and Hillary Clinton are on a level of intellect you Rubes will never reach. And there's not one person in the right-wing grift machine, I mean not one, son, from the lowest peasant all the way up to Donnie Shitbags. There aren't one of you that are half as smart as Bill or Hillary Clinton. So watching you children question two just ridiculously smart people, it was like watching, I don't know, a 7 or 8-year-old trying to, get a gotcha moment against a 45-year-old, Harvard law professor in a debate. That's what it looked like. It looked like Hillary was the principal, and everyone else in the room was almost scared to ask her a question, son. Do you fucking hear me? That's what power and authority she commands. It was quite fascinating to watch, actually. To watch Bobo try and weave some weird fucking question about Pizzagate into the Epstein files and throw it at Hillary. Both her lawyers were like, what the fuck are you asking her? We're talking about Pizzagate, and what are you exactly asking? I almost didn't understand, because you're dealing with someone mentally who's about, Bobo, I'll give her 11 years old maturity-wise. I'm serious, son. I'm not just saying this because I don't like her. Again, it was like a small child asking some ridiculous question to the principal or something. And Hillary's laughing. She just can't believe she has to sit here and have an ex-hooker try and sound intelligent and try and get a gotcha on some Pizzagate shit. It was pathetic. And I could tell Bobo was afraid to even ask her the question, because again, I don't know, it's like your 6-year-old daughter trying to outsmart her 31-year-old mother. It's just not going to happen. It was pathetic. And then Bobo snaps a shot at Hillary in the hearing and sends it to Benny Johnson. Benny in the Closet Johnson. So obviously someone was monitoring her social media in the room there, and realized, or Benny Johnson's, and realized the picture went up. So the whole room found out Bobo's snapping pictures after the big GOP talking point. We can't let this hearing be public. Wait a minute. What about all the evidence you got against Bill and Hillary? You've been telling me they're pedo satanic witches that eat babies when you people were literally that. Your whole movement, whether you knew it or not, irrelevant to me. Your ignorance doesn't mean shit to me. You still took part. You preached its gospel. You made it happen. So I had to hear this for 25 years from you rubes and the right-wing grift machine financed by Russia and the RNC and nefarious oligarchs. You got them in a room, not one piece of evidence, son. Not one goddamn piece of evidence. I watched so many clips. I'm waiting for the gotcha moments. There wasn't any, son. There wasn't one. The picture of Bill in the pool, that's a public pool on a floor of a hotel. That him and several of his detail were in the pool. So that wasn't a gotcha moment. He said he doesn't even remember really who was there. He knows there was a few Secret Service. Doesn't know the woman was in the pool. Remember, they tried to present that photo of Bill in that pool as an Epstein file photo when it was really from a hotel. Someone figured that out in about 5 minutes. And that it was public. They tried to bring up that several of the victims said Bill was mentioned in their testimony. And they tried to frame it as Bill was alleged to have abused them. Nope. One victim mentioned Bill Clinton meeting him on a plane while they were with Epstein. They never mentioned Bill as one of their rapists, abusers, etc. Yet Bobo and others tried to frame it as those accusers were accusing Bill of the molestation, of the rape. It's nope. That's the thing with you people. That's something I learned about all of you a long time ago, and your grift machine that you love so much, that you gave your life to, whose gospel you preached. If I do 0.5 seconds of research, I'll prove you a liar every goddamn time. That's how easy it is. That's how much of a liar you are. That's how much of a liar the people whose gospel you preach are. It doesn't even take intellect. It doesn't even take a deep dive into anything, son. 5 minutes, 5 seconds. Almost every right-wing talking point you can think of known to man. I am not kidding. I can't do that with the Democratic Party. It doesn't work. So Bobo is made to look a fool, and Bill and Hillary were totally relaxed. Hillary got loud a couple of times only because of Bobo taking pictures when they had to go through this whole fucking theater. Every time Republicans call certain Democrats in to testify, they don't want it public, Rubes. Why is that? Don't you, Rubes, want to prove your Pizzagate stuff publicly and embarrass Hillary and Bill publicly? Oh, that's right. You're too goddamn stupid too. Because it would take you 1,000 years to approach 1/10 of their intellect, son. That's how close to ape you are. Mentally. That's why your country's over. For all of us, not just you. That's why your world's over. Because we've wasted 25 years on Bill and Hillary Clinton. And fake investigations that go nowhere. Because there's no evidence, son. There just isn't. But for Donnie, over 1 million times in the files. Bill's name not in the black contact book that I read years ago. Donnie's family and him 14 times. Bill in 1 or 2 pictures with Jeff. Donnie in many pictures with Jeff and video with Jeff. Both on the flight logs. Donnie, all he says is, I went with my family. That's the only details we get when he's on the flight logs. When Bill's on the flight logs, I was using the plane for my charity work. I don't know, son. I'm really wondering if Bill's innocent on this one. I don't know. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying I'm wondering because Bill and Hillary were awfully calm in that deposition. I mean, cool as cucumbers, son. They knew these people had not a goddamn thing on them. They chastised them. Bill and Hillary especially. They chastised them, the panel, as if they were small children. And they commanded authority. There's a reason they are who they are. And what I really need to say is, you and the right-wing grift machine, you don't have a Bill Clinton. You don't have a Hillary Clinton. You don't have a Gavin Newsom. You don't have a Dan Goldman. You don't have an Adam Schiff. Your movement is devoid of stars of anyone worth anything. Again, it might as well be primates versus humans here, intellectually. You don't have any people as smart as Bill and Hillary. You just have people more evil than Bill and Hillary, willing to go further. That's all you have. That's all you ever had. You don't have no Dan Goldmans. You don't have no Gavin Newsoms. People that command authority and make brilliant arguments that make you people look like apes. You don't have none of those. You just have evil grifters and liars. That's all you got. No actual debaters that debate with facts and that sound intelligent. My God, I can't think of one in the Republican Party. Not one. Remotely intelligent. Not one. Evil. Willing to grift, lie, and steal. That's for fucking sure. They prove that daily. So a party that doesn't have any Gavin Newsoms, has no real platform, no real ideas except war and give all the money to the rich, and eugenics and fascism and exclusion. When that's your platform and you have no Gavin Newsoms, you have no John Kennedys, you have no Hillary Clintons, you have no Bill Clintons, you end up where we're at now, fascism. You end up with George Bush Jr., fascism. He opened the door for Donnie. He opened the door for the Antichrist. So again, when your platforms give all the money to the rich and war and corporate oligarchy and white supremacy, if that's your only platform, that isn't a platform. That's just all evil. That's what I mean, the right-wing grift machine. It's not intellect, it's evil. They're willing to go further. They always were. When you have no platform and you have naught but talking points and evil, your only resort is fascism, because you will not appeal to the masses. And that's why voting isn't a national holiday, because the right wing would never win an election, and they know it. That's why they make it as hard as possible to vote. Not liberals. They want everyone to be able to vote. And they know they'll still win. That's the difference between them and you, son. That's why things like the Electoral College were necessary. So losers could win. So unappealing racists and grifters could win. So Bill and Hillary Clinton, I was fucking impressed. Bill's old as fuck. He sounded like an old man when he talks. He struggles a little bit. Hillary, I was even impressed at what real intellect looks like. And I know Bill's done some shit in the past. I don't know if he's guilty on the Epstein. I'm really wondering about it now. But he's still on a level of intellect that these people can't dream of. And that showed in that room. My God, it was fascinating to watch. Because these Republican people that called them in there, that made all this happen, Bobo, Comer, all these fucking assholes, that knew this was going nowhere. They just wanted the Fox News clips. Bobo just wanted to put it on social media, etc. That's all it is to them. Way to grift more money from you idiots. It was really like a bunch of children trying to question the principle, especially with Hillary. Bill and Hillary made them all look like fucking fools. And I know a lot of people say things like that based on their preferred political party. That's not why I'm saying it. It was rather shocking to watch. Because these MAGA folk, Bobo, Comer, others, they're never afraid to put on no theater. They were afraid to do it with Bill and Hillary. Because, son, they were just outmatched. I'm sorry. Again, it's like a panel full of 8-year-olds trying to win a debate and get a gotcha moment on a 45-year-old Harvard, professor. Not like George Bush Jr. Harvard. Not like shit like that. Not like people that just go there, legacy, they don't know shit, they're still idiots. A real Harvard professor that knows shit. That's what it was like watching. And there were no gotcha moments at all whatsoever. And Bill and Hillary were just cool as fucking cute. I was like, what am I watching right now? No wonder they didn't want this public. They look like goddamn idiots. It was embarrassing. And one more time, I have to say it again, because it really occurred to me. Not like I didn't know this, but you don't have any Gavin Newsoms. You don't have any John Kennedys. Never did. The right wing never did. In the modern era. Closest thing you got, I guess, Reagan, but he wasn't smart. He was an actor. You don't have any Dan Goldmans. You don't have any Adam Schiffs. And I don't care what you people say about Adam Schiff. You voted for a pedophile. As if you know what a quality person is and a quality person isn't. You have no clue. Or you would have voted for a goddamn pedophile. One of the worst ones ever. So we got 3 different stories for why we're in a war that might turn into World War III. Drones hit Saudi Arabia again tonight. More missiles over Israel. God knows where it's going to go tomorrow. Iran's been stockpiling missiles and drones for fucking years. They could have millions of them. Especially drones. Infinite drones, son. This shit could really take a while. Donnie in hiding. He may have started World War III. Already 6 soldiers dead. The Clintons, my God. Insane to watch. And after 25 years, I was really hoping to see that big evidence and the big gotchas. But man, it was so pathetic. As the guy whose gospel they preach every day, and who they support, and whose party they belong to, is an abject pedophile. And again, they'll still sit there and fuck with Bill and Hillary for the rubes, even though it does none of us any fucking good. Meanwhile, as you folks out there preach the gospel of an orange pedophile, one of the most evil entities ever born. A person that is such scum that God calls him a beast and says he's so disgusting, so vile, so abominable, he will take him and the false prophet and throw him in a lake. Their name specifically. And yes, it's Donnie. My God, it's Donnie. And I don't want it to be again. This ain't fun. I take no pleasure. It's rather depressing, actually. But at the beginning of this, I realized I've wasted my entire life on things and people I shouldn't have. And I realized it was the end. And that is quite depressing. Because I know what the end means. I've been pondering it for several decades. It means death. I've already told you. And this time, son, we've seen it right out on our streets. Them execute a woman, 3 shots in the face, execute a man, 10 shots in the back. It's not the kind of death where you're sitting comfortably in a movie chair like we Americans, you Americans, are used to. And it never touches you. It's a gun in your face about to shoot you 3 times. Or throw you in a concentration camp and torture you. Or execute you outright. I could go on, but I think you get the picture. And back at the beginning of this, since I realized that I wasted my life on people and things I shouldn't have, I said to myself, well, maybe there's one thing I can do, whether God likes me or not, irrelevant. And I said I could guide people through it because I'm probably about 1 of 10. If there's even 10, I'd be surprised. I don't think there is. I can be a guide because I know exactly what this is. And I know all these people out there are going to be scared shitless and have no clue what this is. And they're going to be outraged and shocked every day and lost and have no clue what this is whatsoever. And I knew for 10 years, and I tried to lay out as many of the steps as possible right at the beginning, right before Donnie won and right after he won. So you would see them come true, or I'd be an idiot, crazy person that was wrong, and we get an answer. Well, the answer has come so far. My God. Everything I laid out happened so far. I said all roads lead to the Holy Land. Again, this is back last January and before. I said, don't do it. He'll never leave. He's the Antichrist. He staged a coup last time. You don't understand the death, thuggery, etc. that will happen. The rest of the world, I was talking to you, oligarchy and peasants alike. I said all roads lead to the Holy Land. Donnie took the Holy Land first. Board of Peace. Replace the UN. Govern the world. That's the idea behind it. Literally. Donnie said it. Yeah, I wanted to replace the UN. Yeah. I run it. I'm a top. I control the money. I make the decisions. Yeah. Donnie took the Holy Land first. I said he'd annex countries, right? Venezuela. I said he'd be a warmonger. Bomb places. We've seen that as well, my God. World War III might have just started the other day. Talked about camps. I talked about him being like Adolf Hitler and doing all those things. I said public executions. We got the camps. We got the mass secret police. I framed it like this back in the beginning. The first time a man is deployed in a van, or a bunch of men are deployed in a van to come grab someone and we never see him again, or take him to a camp, it's over. We way the fuck past that. We at the public execution point, the informal ones. We'll get to formal ones, don't worry. That was written of as well. We'll get to that temple too, don't worry. I told you that was going to happen as well. We're not there yet. Donnie's fulfilling everything I thought he would. Told you they were making lists. There's going to be roundups of liberals and others. We've seen that already, and we're going to see a big roundup at some point. I told you there wouldn't be no more elections, even if there's the facade of one. Donnie's telling us that every day, showing us that every day. That's where we're going. He's deployed the military against us and that mass Gestapo that have executed 2 people publicly, and that was the point. That's what the bounties were for. And again, I can tell bounties were offered by what took place. So I made all these predictions based on what I know and some feelings. The AI and drones thing, that was just a feeling that has come utterly true. Again, back 2 Januaries ago, I said AI and drones would police us. We just watched a literal fight between the Reich, the highest members of it, Donnie, Hegseth, etc., and a company over the right to mass surveil you with that company's tool and kill you with fucking drones automatically without a human in the loop. That's what Hegseth wanted to do, and the company didn't. I told you they would police us with AI and drones over a year ago. We watched a literal fight over it, the right to do it. And of course, when one company says, no, we don't want to go to jail for 80 years, Sam Altman's right there to scoop it up. There's always another scumbag waiting in the void, I told you. There's always another desperate, sad-ass motherfucker with no moral compass. Ready to do whatever for the big paycheck, man. Sam Altman's a perfect example of that. So I made all these predictions back then. And I knew then in 1 of 2 things is either the shit's gonna all happen and prove me right, not me, prove scripture right, because that's where I got it all from. Again, in a few feelings. Or I'm going to look like an idiot. None of it's going to happen. All of it happened. All of it. Told you Mark was coming. You got fucking Junkhead Jr., RFK, talking about wearables within 4 years, everyone wearing one. That's what he would like to see. A mark, a currency, Donnie's digital coin with the 666 on it. I already explained how it's on it. I didn't want it to be. Again, I postponed looking at that. I already told you the story. Because I knew what I'd find. What I don't want to find. 666. So I said to myself, maybe I could guide people through it. Because there's going to be a lot of scared people that just have... None of this makes sense. What is this? And I knew it would have effect on the masses, physically, emotionally, mentally. And they would just be lost and have no idea. So I figured I could help that way. Because it's a rather niche knowledge. And I'm talking about the proper application of it. The proper interpretation of it, like Brother James, like me. Not the right-wing grift, capitalist Jesus interpretation you've been hearing your entire existence, therefore it must be true. No, it never was, son. And what's sad? Most of the people that preached Jesus for decades also went along with the Antichrist, because that's what good Christians are supposed to do. You're supposed to vote right-wing because they're pro-life, right? In between bombings, right, son? In between public executions, right, son? In between kidnappings at gunpoint and masked. In between the acquiring of new concentration camps. Pro-life, right? In between pedophilia. In between episodes of pedophilia. And Jesus sold t-shirts, right, son? And Jesus loved capitalism, right, son? All those people that preach that Jesus gospel, that version, all went along with this. And probably still do. That tells me they were never what they claimed to be. And I mean never. It was just bullshit. And there's even a few teachers, and some of you in the church in general, I know, that you've known what this is from the beginning. You felt something wrong, something's not right here. Some of you even recognize him as the Antichrist, didn't you? Some of you teachers especially, I know you did. And you said, oh shit, it's on my team, I gotta go along. Because it's a team sport. And my family might hate me, my friends might hate me, my congregation might go away. I might lose my salary as a pastor, my standing in the community. God will not be pleased with that choice. You don't even know how not pleased with that choice he will be. But anyway, I figured I could do that. Because I'm one of the very few people that can even approach it. And obviously I was giving this understanding for a reason. I can tell by how many of the things I said at the beginning of this 2 Januaries ago that have come true. The odds are overwhelming that all those things wouldn't come true. But son, they did come true. That's not logical. And what just occurred to me as I was saying these things came true, the gold Donnie statue on the Holy Land in that commercial, remember that? That was only a few months in, I think, to Donnie's presidency. I couldn't believe they made it. The crazy guy saying he's the Antichrist. He's all about the Holy Land. He's going to take it. He's going to do something at a temple in the future. They bust out a few months into the presidency, him and BB chilling on the pool deck, gold Donnie statue on the Holy Land, in a whole 5-minute commercial. And they're doing it all right now. So when the crazy guy in sunglasses was saying 2 Januaries ago, this is all roads lead to the Holy Land, Donnie's the Antichrist, he's going to do something at that temple, it's about the temple, it's going to get rebuilt. And then lo and behold, a commercial comes out about a Trump Gaza resort and gold Donnie statues on the Holy Land, gold Donnie balloons, gold Donnie trinkets being sold by street vendors. Him and BB chilling on the pool deck. Leon eating food by himself. So once again, the odds of things this ridiculous coming true when proclaimed by a human being in advance. Overwhelming are the odds for that person to be wrong, to make that many predictions, and they all come true to the letter. I'm not a psychic. And I base, 99% of the predictions on scripture, some on feelings. They've all come true. All of them. And again, that don't make me feel special, son. I'd rather be ignorant like you, honestly. And you know who I'm talking to. Ignorance is bliss. And I wouldn't know my future is basically to die at the hands of Satan. In some form, public execution, whatever. Because I ain't taking the mark, son. So I know what's going to happen to me. So in closing, a crazy man in sunglasses made a bunch of proclamations 2 Januaries ago, based on scripture and a few feelings, and every single thing has come true so far except for the future events. And these future events ain't 40 years from now. They're much closer than that. And the road to those future events is wide fucking open. They will happen, son. They ain't been calling Donnie King Cyrus for 10 years for nothing, son. They didn't put him on the King Cyrus coin that they sell on eBay or wherever the fuck for nothing, son. Bibi ain't boasting that you gonna see the temple. The finance minister of Israel isn't boasting that you gonna see the temple for nothing, son. They ain't bombing Iran right now for nothing, son. It's about that temple, and it's about squashing the last bit of resistance that might come their way once they start slapping it up. And they've pretty much dealt with Iran already, but it's just what trouble is Iran going to cause in the future as a result, out of revenge, being pissed off, and I don't blame them. So I expect retaliation, big time, but here and there, not anything major. The individual events may be major, but when you kill 50 of a country's top leaders, yeah, there's going to be revenge taken on that. So one more time, 2 Januaries ago, the crazy guy in sunglasses made all these proclamations. And now they've all come true, and that temple going to come true too. And it's going to get much worse. It's depressing as fuck to know that. But, you know, I got to keep going. So statistically, the odds were really in favor of me being wrong about a lot of it, or all of it. Yet I was right about all of it. And again, I don't feel special. It's quite disturbing, actually. And again, I basically feel like I am one of 5 people on the planet that might know a planet of this size. So I'll never see those 5 other people or 4 other people, whatever. So I might as well be alone. And I walk around with this knowledge. And my experience in this world is a totally different thing than yours and everyone else walking around. Just knowing it's inevitable. And there's no stopping it. And that's guaranteed. It's not a good feeling. And again, I feel like I'm just walking around like I'm the only human on the planet that knows. But I stayed on here way too long, and it's going to fuck up my day tomorrow, and I'm pissed at myself for even staying on this long. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening. And what an embarrassment today was, and shame, and fucking disgrace with Donnie and Hegseth and Rubio. And the Clintons were brilliant. And the guy in sunglasses was right about everything. And he's not saying that to pat himself on the back, or because he feels good about it. I made those proclamations again so you would get something out of it. I got absolute jack shit out of it. Except sounding like a crazy person, which I knew at the time I was sounding like. But I'm like, I got to do it. I can't be afraid like those pastors. It must be done. So I made all those proclamations again, and I did not take it lightly, and you shouldn't have either. For your benefit. So as you saw each thing come true, maybe something click in your mind. Oh shit. Maybe we are really in this thing. Maybe I shouldn't be dabbling with it at all. If you are, maybe I should walk away. Because some crazy dude made a bunch of proclamations, predictions, and they all came true in just over a year. That's against statistical possibility. You understand that, right? I do. That's why I'm rather... What's the word I'm looking for? I'm rather, it gives me pause. Big time. Because I know it's statistically impossible. That leaves only one alternative, one conclusion available. It's supernatural, it's real, it's happening. Whether we believe or not. So I made those proclamations for your benefit. I'm guiding people for your benefit. Does jack shit for me except fuck up my life. Costs me money, sleep, time, effort, censorship, reputation, Google thinking of new ways to get fucking rid of me every 2 seconds. Because the imp can't have this message going out, son. Who do you think these people are affiliated with? Whether they know it or not, meaningless to me. There's a reason I'm not allowed to talk almost anywhere. Even when I get 200 subscribers, 700 subscribers, 10,000, 5,000, 2,000, doesn't matter the website, the number. They can't let me talk, son. That's because Daddy the imp can't let me talk, because that's who I'm the real threat to, son. Again, like I told you way back in the beginning, me and a few other people, the most dangerous thing on the planet right now to what's going on. Because we know what it is. Every nuance of it. Every detail. Down to an FFF being put in place of a 666. Down to that detail. Down to knowing you would find it before you looked. That's why I'm dangerous. To the paradigm, to the imp, to all this. The most dangerous one, he's going to come back shortly, I assume, and turn a battlefield into a lake of blood. He's the real paradigm breaker. Like I said, I guess I'm just trying to soften it up a little bit. Anyway, have a wonderful evening. Don't take the mark.